So welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here. Some really interesting stuff actually that I picked up recently. Some things that I'm definitely going to flip, but some things as well that I definitely wanted for my collection. So overall it's been a pretty good haul, I think. Recently nothing super retro in here except for maybe if you consider one of the systems retro or something like that, it's fine, but more recent generation or, you know, a couple of generations ago kind of stuff. So I'll get started on it. The first thing I wanted to show you here I actually picked up from a pawn shop. I thought it was a pretty good deal. It was $3 for this title. That was everything in, like tax in or whatever, so you know I wasn't going to turn it down. It's Golden Axe Beast Rider, and I thought this would be sort of like harken back to the old days Golden Axe kind of games and things like that. It's completely different, but I think it has like some sort of familiar kind of beasts and stuff like that in it, but otherwise it didn't really get favorable reviews. When I saw it I was kind of just going off of nostalgia reasons basically for picking it up. But for $3 I don't really regret picking it up or anything like that. At the same time, I think it didn't really get amazing reviews. I don't know what people were expecting of it because it's basically a very simple hack and slash kind of scenario, so I don't know much about that other than that, though it's still pretty cool, and it's totally complete inside, which is nice. I think if I remember correctly, this one's disc needs to be cleaned. Yeah, there's like lots of smudges and stuff on it, but it's actually, those aren't scratches or anything, it's just kind of filthy, so I'll have to clean this sort of inside and out and see what I come up with basically, but it's in pretty good shape I think otherwise, and for $3 I wasn't gonna leave that behind. I thought it was a pretty good deal. Moving on from there, I also walked into a Value Village, and this is actually sitting on a cart, which basically is the name of the game these days. If you're not picking things off a cart, you're not likely to get a whole lot. So pretty much everything I think I had left was on a cart today. It wasn't just today though, this actually I picked up the other day, and it's just a Nintendo Wii console. This one here has like all its doors and everything like that. I paid $15 for it, but I thought that was a pretty reasonable deal for it. No memory card in or anything like that, but there is a copy because I did fire this on. I didn't actually test it out, I just plugged it in to see if it would, if there was a disc in the tray kind of thing, and to see if it would power on, and it does power on, so that's a good sign. And the disc in the tray was actually Wii Sports Resort, so essentially from my understanding that pretty much pays for the console itself. So basically this is just a flip. I'm not really going to hold on to this. I have a couple of systems already as it is, so I really don't need an extra one, that's for sure, but still a pretty cool find I thought for $15. Moving on from there, I also walked into a Goodwill, and I thought this title would probably be a little bit more decent than it is. Again, I'm going off reviews, I haven't played it yet, I haven't had a chance to, but it's Sonic the Hedgehog for the PlayStation 3, and I thought this would be some sort of like cool kind of reboot sort of scenario, so I went for it. I paid $5 for it, so I'm not really like that disappointed or anything like that in it for $5, but it's totally complete, which is really nice. And the disc on it has a couple of fingerprints, and that's about it. The rest of it's pretty mint, so that's something that I'll clean up or whatever, and maybe I'll check it out. I don't really know how these games are holding up these days. I know that Sonic series has kind of gone downhill, and I'm hoping this is a little bit of a redemption kind of thing, but I have a little bit like a lack of faith in that, just because we all know how the Sonic thing has gone down from the old the 16-bit days kind of thing on the Genesis. So we'll see how this goes. I'll give it a shot. Some people said they like it, but for the most part it gets kind of poor reviews and stuff like that, so we'll have to see, but still something that I want for the collection, just at least for nostalgia's sake kind of thing. The next one here is a really good pickup though. I'm really happy to get a handle on this one here, which is Ghostbusters, the video game for PlayStation 3. This is a fairly sought after title, and it's tons of fun. I played the Xbox 360 version, which is identical to this one, so that's pretty cool right there. And the disc on this one is like in the best shape of all, so pretty cool. Just a couple of my own fingerprints probably on there just from not being careful, but cool nonetheless. If you haven't checked out this title, go check out some gameplay footage of it and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I had a blast playing it, that's for sure, and it's actually pretty cool. And if you can, also there is a Wii version of this game, but it's totally different than the PS3 and the Xbox 360 version. It's actually a different like graphical look and everything like that to it, because I'm pretty sure that the Wii couldn't handle the type of graphics that are displayed in this one, but so they made a completely different game for it. So kind of cool. Check them both out actually, because they're pretty solid titles all around. That's for sure. And then the last one from that day was an Xbox title, and this place is getting kind of interesting, this Goodwill, because they've put their prices up to $5 a game, which I'm not normally willing to pay for most titles. I had a sort of mitt full of games I was looking at, and just because it was $5, I had to kind of leave them behind. It's just the way it's going. But I'm still able to find a few things, and this is definitely worth it. It's the Dukes of Hazzard Return of the General Lee for the original Xbox. And like I said, this one was $5, but it's not complete, which is kind of a bummer. But I think the copy that I have may actually have the manual, but I know because I did a video specifically with this disc. I got this way back when I didn't have as much savvy, I guess, and when I bought games from Talese back in the day, I used to bag them. And what happened was I had this game in there, and I was like, great, that's a pretty awesome title to get a handle on. And what happened was I got the disc home and it wouldn't work. It was like totally beat up, scratched beyond belief. And I didn't run it through the JFJ Easy Pro. I actually ran it through another machine, which it managed to do the job. I mean, it didn't come out pretty or anything like that, but it got the disc working. But this one here is going to be an upgrade for me. So like I said, though, there was a sticker on there. I think this might have been like an old rental or something like that. I'm not totally certain about that. The disc on this one actually doesn't look that great. It's beat up, but it's not nearly as beat up as the copy I have. So that's pretty cool. It's a somewhat upgrade for the one that I have, and I'll just try to sell the other one off that I have, and take the best of both worlds kind of thing from that one. But still a cool Ubisoft game to check out, and always a win right there, that's for sure. So that's cool right there for $5. And then I went back in, and this was actually at the same Goodwill. So basically all this stuff that I got this week, other than the Wii console, actually came from the same Goodwill, which is kind of nice. The first one here, I'm trying to remember if I have this one already. I know I have either the PS2 version or whatever, so I really wanted to not leave this behind, just because I do want to get these things on the original Xbox. Like I've mentioned before, it's just a preferred system for me as far as like multi-plat things go. So I got this one here. It's Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick, and again, like these titles are pretty fun, so I was gonna leave that behind. And again, that one was $5. Really cool title, something you should definitely check out. It's definitely good for the collection. But at the same time, I also picked up this one, which is Evil Dead Regeneration for the original Xbox. So that's pretty awesome right there, as well as the two Evil Dead games all in one. Now this Goodwill today had just stacks upon stacks of original Xbox games, but they're asking $5 each, so I had to leave a lot of them behind. This one here is totally complete, which is really nice, and the disc on this one's like near mint, I would say, so that's pretty awesome right there. This one here is pretty neat. You have this like little midget kind of friend, and what you end up doing is you like end up kicking them and pushing them and throwing them and stuff like that into enemies and whatnot. So kind of interesting. I don't really know a whole lot about it because I haven't had a chance to spend a lot of time with it, but it's still cool nonetheless. I'm trying to remember, like I was saying though, I can't remember which ones of these I have on the PlayStation 2, and I may even have an Xbox version of one of these two games, but I'm pretty sure I don't have both of them, so I just decided to pick up both of them, and definitely worth $5 each though, so that's pretty cool. At the same time, I found something that I'm really happy to find, actually, because I never really see these things out in the wild these days. It's not out there for some reason. I just cannot find stuff for Dreamcast, so I managed to score a Sega Rally 2 championship for the Sega Dreamcast. This is actually sitting on a cart, just like these two. Actually, these were sitting on a cart, and so was this one. A different cart though, and I actually almost missed this entirely, which would have been a shame. But I was flipping through, I went through the cart, and there was only about maybe like 10 CDs or whatever sitting there, and I kind of flipped through it, and then I ran over to the other section, like flipped through, saw the Xbox games, started going through them, And I went back and I was like, nah, I'll give it a second look or whatever. When I was flipping back through, I actually found Sega Rally 2, which is kind of cool. It's totally complete, which is really nice, and the disc is in reasonable shape. It's pretty good, actually. It's not a lot of scratches or anything like that on it. So that's kind of nice. I do have to replace the inner part of this casing though, because it's pretty beat up and the case has got cracks and stuff in it, but not a big deal. It's just a CD case, so I'll easily be able to fix that up and get this thing into the collection, which is really nice because I don't have a whole lot of Dreamcast games. I think I have like around 16 or so, which isn't a huge amount. That's all I've really found. Now this here is pretty neat. This is something I definitely wanted for my collection, and this one is a little bit unique, I think. Kind of strange. The other copy would have had a manual, and this one doesn't though. It's Power Stone, and you can see it right there on it. It says rental copy, which I think this was from Blockbuster. I'm not totally certain about that. I tried to look this up a little bit. I didn't get a whole lot of information, just some people's like a little bit of detail kind of thing on it. Couldn't really find any of these on eBay or anything like that. But the downside to having the rental copy is that this is not actually a manual, it's just a slip of paper. And I don't know if this is actually the original inner working part, but it really doesn't matter that much because there's no inner artwork on there, and the back part is like, it looks legit and everything like that. I'm not saying it's not legitimate, but the screenshots and stuff look a little bit like almost like photocopied. I mean, it's really poor quality images they put on this rental copy, but I can assure you it's pretty legit. You can tell by the binding and everything like that that it is. Pretty awesome though. I mean, amazing game. If you've never played Power Stone, you gotta check it out. It's really cool. Like, it's like almost like Brawl kind of thing, a precursor to, you know, melee kind of action, but it's actually in three-dimensional space, so you can go all over the place and use different objects, and you're collecting the stones to power up. It's tons of fun, really good Capcom title, and pretty unique to find this rental copy because I've never heard or seen this before. So I don't know if anybody knows anything about this. I believe it was from Blockbuster back in the day before the game actually came out retail. You could rent it, and this was what you got if you rented it. So pretty cool nonetheless. And the disc on this one, surprisingly, considering the fact that it was a rental, although it does look like it may have been resurfaced at one point, is in pretty decent shape. So pretty happy to add it. I didn't have Power Stone in my collection already, so really pumped about that. One of my favorite Dreamcast titles, that's for sure. So really cool addition. I'll have to get myself a clear case though, I think, for it, because this one doesn't really fit in with the rest of them. But cool stuff. So that's everything that I found this time around. Not a whole lot of stuff, but a lot of really good quality. Like I said, really happy with that. Obviously, you know, these two games I'm really interested in checking out, that's for sure, and love the Ghostbusters, absolutely. So that's everything that I got to show you this time around. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.